Alright, over here we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equation by graphical method. Let's do a quick recap. We have a straight line graph, a y equals to x plus 3 drawn over here in the grid. They say using a graph, find the value of x when y equals to 2. So how do you solve with the graphical approach? I know when y equals to 2, I know my y coordinate is 2. I read off from the vertical y-axis where y is 2. I draw a dotted line and touch a straight line here. I read off the respective x coordinate, which I get x is -1. So if let's say I'll do an algebraic approach, I substitute the y equals to 2 in the equation, replace with y, 2 equals to x plus 3, and I solve it. X equals to 2 minus 3, x equals to -1. However, because of the question, the nature of the question say using a graph, right? We won't do the algebraic approach. But you realize that both of it, we get the same answer over here, right? So we won't do the algebraic approach. So let's go to the quadratic equation. So now you have a quadratic equation drawn on a grid, which you get a curve, something like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you step by step these 3 steps of how to solve this quadratic equation graphically when I already have the graph drawn on the grid. Okay, so for step 1 over here, right, you realize that the question say use your graph to find the solutions of x squared minus 2x minus 7 equals to 0. Right, so step 1, you realize that over here, everything on the left is your graph drawn on a grid. So what do you have? The same thing like just now. I know my y is equals to 0. That means my y coordinate is 0. So I identified my y coordinate. I know y equals to 0. I will find this y coordinate 0 on the vertical y-axis, which is here, and look across where it intersects my curve. Right, so these are the point here and this point here, right? And that's about I know x is -1.8 or 3.8. So this is the graphical approach. However, algebraic approach, if I want to solve this, I cannot factorize and solve. I will have to do the quadratic formula. So I won't do this. Okay? I have to do the graphical approach. So go to question number 2 now. Okay? Right, so let's do the 3-step again. Right? Same thing. I have my left side. Here is the curve. I know my y coordinate. This is the y coordinate is 1. So I know my y coordinate is 1. Alright, I look for the vertical y-axis one more time. Right? And I know, oh, y equals 1 is here. And I draw a dotted line. I look where it touched my curve. There are 2 points. Don't just look at the left side, look at the right side also. There are 2 points. And I notice that I read off is x equals to 4. I read off here. It's x equals to -2. Alright, so I just jot this down. X equals to 4 or -2. So if I do the algebraic approach, I will solve this, rearrange, I minus 1 equals 0, simplify, and I factorize x times x equals to x squared. I have 4 and 2, the -4, and here is plus 2, alright, and I solve it, x equals to 4 or -2 also, right? But I won't do this, right? Because question say use your graph, right? Otherwise you'll be penalized. Okay, let's look at the last one. So I got one where the y coordinate is 0, the y coordinate is 1. Now finally, last one. I'm looking at the graph again. I know, oh, my left side is a curve. My y coordinate is -7. So I go back to this equation. See again, this is the graph exactly, and this is my y coordinate is -7. So I look for y equals to -7. I look for my vertical y-axis. Where is the y coordinate -7? I can see it is over here. Right, I draw a dotted line. I know. Oh, okay, these exact 2 points here. The x coordinate I read off is x is 0 and x is 2. So x is 0 or x is 2. So if I do the algebraic approach, I rearrange it and then I add 7 here. I realize I get x squared minus 2x equals to 0. I can factorize, take out a common factor x, and I solve it, get x equals 0 or 2. Again, I won't do the algebraic approach. I will do the graphical approach because the question say use your graph. So that's how we do so. Alright, summary of the graphical approach. We look for the y coordinate from the quadratic equation, the right hand side of the quadratic equation. Identify the point where the y coordinate lies on the curve and read off its respective x coordinates. Important, never solve it by algebra as it is a graph question. Okay, that's it. All the best.